Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started in here. All right, I want to welcome all the movers and shakers, my middle managers, my change agents, my decision makers. You know who you are. Welcome back to the coffee break. I'm your host, Ron Ross. So in today's installment of the coffee break, hopefully you got your coffee with you, I'm ready to rock and roll. I want to talk about the importance of brand as a middle organizational leader. So we know when it comes to companies, whether you're doing business to business, business to consumer, when you think about a brand like Apple, you know what their brand is. They stand for great design, innovation, and they have this cool factor, right? And they know who their demographics are, the demographic is for their product. Also, when you think about a brand like Volvo, what comes to mind? Yeah, absolutely, safety. And they actually promote safety, not to men, but they promote it to who their target audience is, females, the consumers who really want to make sure that their families are safe. So they have a clear understanding of who their brand is and their target audience. So what does that have to do with you as a middle manager? Everything. What it helps you to do is your brand is the reputation that you have when you're not around. So what are people saying about you? And then the other thing is it helps you to make really good decisions as a leader. So I want to give you a couple examples. So one, I'm going to take you outside of organizational life to the world that I love, golf. And I want to talk to you about Matt Kuchar, who is still one of my favorite golfers, but he made a fundamental boo-boo. Matt forgot his brand. What is Matt's brand? Matt's brand is all about being nice, being affable. He is that guy next door that you wave at when you're leaving. He is the good neighbor. Think about how much value that has. He has all of this notoriety, but people think he is just like me. Matt grew up right next door to me, is what people think. So a ton of value in that brand. Matt had an opportunity to extend the brand, but he made a fundamental bad decision. He won a tournament in Mexico, and standard in the PGA is you tip your caddy 10%. So Matt won like $1.1 million. Matt paid his caddy $15,000 because it was a local caddy, and I guess when he did the translation, it's like, this is a lot of money for that person. But Matt didn't make this decision based on what his brand was, because what happened is the story got out. And this nice guy, this good guy, who people really like, started looking like a cheap guy, started looking like somebody that wasn't really equitable, that didn't really care about other people, that seemed out of touch. It was totally the opposite of what his brand stands for. So had Matt made a decision, what should I tip this local caddy? It would have been a no-brainer. I'm gonna give him the full $120,000, and I don't care what it's like for him. This is congruent to my brand. And instead, what happened is he ended up paying $50,000. He negotiated with the guy, but the damage he did to his brand cost him probably $1 million in fan and brand value. So it was a bad decision on Matt's part. To his credit, he is rebuilding the brand, but it takes a lot more to rebuild your reputation than if you make decisions that are consistent with it. So another example of why brand is important in helping you make decisions is one of my clients. So she went to a trade show, and based on the city that it was in, she dressed in something that was fun, really out there. And it attracted a lot of positive attention when she was actually in the trade show. So she wanted to write about it and put it on LinkedIn. And she said, I lamented over this decision for hours. And I said, why? Because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to ruin my credibility, AKA her brand. And when we actually talked about it, I said, if you knew what your brand was, if we did that work, the next time you have decisions like this, it's going to be a split-second decision. And when we actually talked about what her brand was, it was about being a credible person in their industry, but it was also about this fire and this passion. It's also about being fun and quirky. And when you actually square the decision against those attributes, it totally fit, and she could have saved herself hours. So if you're thinking as a leader, why is brand important? It's not only the reputation that people have, what are they saying about you in the room that you're not in? That's an important reason why, as organizational middle leaders, you need to understand your brand. You need to really make sure you are being consistent to your brand. But more importantly, as a leader, you are a mover, shaker, you are a decision maker. And if you really want to make really good decisions, you need to understand what your brand is about. So if you want a little help in that, please visit me on my website at ronpaulross.com. I have a load of resources that'll help you to understand how to excavate that, how to refine that, and really how to communicate it. Do me another favor, please, if you haven't subscribed already, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you'll understand what the latest episodes are that I've dropped. And if you like what I'm doing, or if you want to have a dialogue, leave me some comments. And lastly, if you know other people that would appreciate what I'm doing here at the Coffee Break, please go ahead and forward that to your friends and colleagues. And lastly, as we always do, I say enjoy the rest of your coffee break.